Hello, and welcome. Today I'm coming with another tier list using tier maker tool, uh, and today I decided to go for a Tzeentch faction. I really liked Tzeentch, and I decided to go for it. I was planning to do Nurgle because I like Nurgle more, but Tzeentch it is, since I got into conversation about Kyra's Fate Weaver campaign on Reddit and how it's always end up the same, because you do always fight the same enemies. And the advices I got, well, they did not appeal to me. I'm not knowing everything, but definitely I know that the tips I received were not good for me. And I want to say immediately, this list is, I'm judging units by my point of view. So it's subjective. It's not going to be objectively perfect. It's subjective list. So I might say something you're not going to agree. But it doesn't give you a reason to fucking shit on me for that because you disagree what I said. We can have different opinions. Spoiler alert. You're gonna be fine if I say something you don't agree with. I'm gonna be fine if you say something in a comment that I don't agree, which I have no problem admitting. Because I am not Alpha and Omega. I don't know everything, and I have my specific way of existing, playing, so I can do things you don't find, interesting and appealing. And it's fine. So I'm just, saying that immediately because from time to time there is always someone who cries me a river about how stupid I am for thinking not like that person. So yeah, when we have that sorted already, let's go. So Tzeentch faction starting of course with melee infantry, and I have, category of amazing, very good, okay, could be better, crap. Exactly the same as I did with dwarves, and I feel I'm gonna stay consistent. So blue horrors are okay. They're okay. They're nothing like groundbreaking. There's 160 entities, so they have quite low HP, but they all have, barriers. So the barrier is nice to have, but these are demons, so they perish when they get start low. Often to replace, they pretty much a filler until I get pink horrors. Nonetheless, they're really okay. There is nothing wrong with them. Next are the Marauders with spears, regular Marauders, Forsaken, and Zangars, and they come from the same building. However, the spear Marauders are tied to building, to main building, the settlement building, which is weird because in my eyes, the regular Marauders should be there. But for some reason, they're not. So I'm gonna start with regular Marauders, and I think they're crap. Seriously, I think they're crap. They are a tier 2 unit, where normally Marauders are just, basic common crap. So there is absolutely no reason to recruit them. Okay, they have Gold Shield that blocks 35% missile, 34 melee attack, 28 melee defense. It's not bad, right? And armor 15, but no. I have way better stats with just Marauders with spears. So Marauders with spears could be better. Could be better. But then again, these are Marauders. I never expect anything from Marauders. I would way better get Blue Horrors over Marauder Spears. But Marauder Spears beat the hell out of regular marauders, because you get them from basic settlement building, and they have higher melee defense, so they can last longer as your front line. Nonetheless, they are nothing special. Now, next are Forsaken of Tzeentch. These are armored units with frenzy, so they are okay. Whoops. Yeah, they are okay. I'm kind of baffled how low the melee defense is for them, because they have really low melee defense, and it does bother me, because they take a lot of damage, unnecessary damage, because of the low melee defense. However, the armor balance it out a little bit. I would even say they could be better, but Zangors are okay. I would pick Zangors all day, every day over Forsaken. And I might be wrong about that, okay? Because here's the thing. Forsaken are a little bit better. They have higher weapons. So in the long run, when it comes to dealing damage, Forsaken gonna perform way better than Zangors. Zangors, I look on as a defensive unit much more, because they have shield that blocks 55% from a small missile. That's a lot. 38 melee defense, 50 armor, while Forsaken doesn't have armor, but when it comes to dealing damage, their potential is higher, and occasionally I recruit them when I play Tzeentch. I never recruit them when I play Warriors of Chaos. Even if I have them available, there is always better option. Nonetheless, these guys, let's say they're okay. Let's go. So, Chaos Warriors. Chaos Warriors are very good. Chaos Warriors with halberdiers, very good. These guys are your safe bet. Usually, I don't get tier 2 building to recruit something. And the melee infantry, I almost never go with it. I skip it. I build up tier 3. And before I get them, I use blue horrors. Because spending on Zangors and Forsaken is kind of waste of money. I'd rather go tier up. Also, from my perspective, I'm using mod that lets me upgrade units by the experience. I love to use it. I'm not using it always, but definitely it helps in situations like this. But if you play without it, I would skip absolutely tier 2 and go to tier 3. Because Chaos Warriors gonna perform great. Halberd's version is tier higher, but it's still alright. And you do need 8 of them to unlock legendary heroes, so you're gonna recruit them anyway. Next are, of course, the Chosen. And Chosen of Tzeentch are killers. Yeah, you can roll with them till end of the game. Seriously. End of the game. Amazing. So they're really, really good. And they're slow, but they're really resilient, and you can do quite a lot with them, especially when you buff them with spells, when you support them with spells. That's so good. Okay, that's all melee infantry. Now we're gonna go to missile infantry, and of course, first are pink horrors that are very good. They are straight up upgrade from blue horrors. They are very, very good. But Exalted are better. And I've watched the Legend tier list, and he downgraded them from S tier to A tier because 2 turns recruiting. Yes, I see that as a problem, but I'm not taking that into consideration because I usually have a mule to recruit some of the pinks for me. Sometimes I'm using Warband upgrade that lets me upgrade pinks for the experience and of course money into Exalted. So I skip that part. But even if I don't, I still value them as amazing. Because when you get that, let's say Kairos Fate Weaver, you can roll with Exalted till end of a game. And if you add on top of it Blue Scribes, that's insane. That's why I usually build up a separate army from Kairos Fate Weaver, and I give that army Blue Scribes. This army is full of Exalted Pink Horrors, and it rips everything. It's so fucking good. So I highly, highly recommend it. It's absolutely great. Exalted, they are worth it to recruit in 2 turns. However, like I said, I'm using Mule, so at the moment I'm playing only Kairos Fate Weaver, let's face it. I'm not playing Changeling because this campaign is dead to me, as the Ogres were for such a long time. But when I'm clearing stuff out, I'm recruiting a second Lord and starting recruiting Exalteds. Simple. So I build up a second army and then I switch whatever Kairos have with this. Most of the time I'm like having a lot of units ready when Kairos meet up with that Lord. It's not cost efficient, but let's face it, I never had problems with money when it comes to Kairos Fate Weaver. So they are like Doomstack-ish worth it, because they can carry on really, really good. Especially with Blue Stripes. Okay, let's go to mobile units cav alike. So, Marauders, Tzeentch Marauders are a mystery for me. And I can tell you, they're very good. They're not great, okay? They're far from great, but they are very good. They apply Warp Flame, which helps with damage taken. They're cheap, easy to get. But I still, I still think they're tier 2 according to my UI. But I still think I wouldn't recruit them many, but they're really good as a support unit. Let's say you have some melee infantry and you need some cav around. Yeah, they're gonna do fine until ammo run out and they need to fight in melee, then they start sucking. But for some time they're very good, so, and the barrier helps a lot. Which I cannot say the same thing about heavy cav of Tzeentch. Chaos Knights and Chaos Knights with lances, for me, are just okay. Barrier helps, but they get stuck too easily. I've been playtesting this out. Cycle charging is vicious. They get caught by literally everything because their speed's 70 and it's heavy cav, so they get tired really fast. And it's just, yeah, the normal version have at least 50 melee defense base, but the lances have 38. So they get hit by a lot of things more often. It says shock cav, but in my eyes, shock cav should have a little bit more. Lances do better bonus charge, but I did try it against multiple enemies. And I don't know, I never had that. If they had like, because they when you click on them, the window says they're anti-infantry. But they do not have bonus versus infantry. If they had, the lances would do way better. Why not add bonus infantry? I do not know. They have base weapon strength and just armor piercing, which is not that impressive anyway, so yeah, I am disappointed and they are not that good for me. But when it comes to Chariot, it's even worse because I don't know. I don't know what's going on with Chariots, but it's just a couple of them. And this Chariot is 78 speed. It is bonus versus infantry. But it doesn't do damage. I feel like it's just it's not performing as I wished. And you can tell me how wrong I am. Of course. Trust me, I love Chariots. I love how Chariots can pierce in and demolish everything. These guys doesn't do it. They are get stuck immediately. I don't know why. Everything is in place. They have good stats, weapon strength versus infantry as a bonus. They have 76 charge bonus, which is base. So it looks great on paper. They're faster than Chaos Warriors. The Cav. Chaos Knights, sorry. So the Cav, they're faster. But they're just not doing it for me. And when they get stuck in prolonged combat, they are disappearing. Because their stats, 28 melee defense, is like nothing. So they really do not perform well. Which I cannot say that about Centaurs of Tzeentch, which are, for some reason, they're just absurdly very good. I even made armies full of these guys, and they were just killing everything. Which they should not, judging by their stats. But they have the augmentation arcane charge. Whenever ally cast a spell, they get the bonus base weapon and armor piercing, which makes them very, very good. Plus the barrier, they're really fast, they're 84 speed. Stats are lower than Cav, but they can demolish more than a cavalry, especially when they hit something armored. They're great. I wish they're anti-large. Yeah, I wish their Cav is anti-large, because lances or one of the Cavs should be anti-large, but for some reason it's not. Oh boy, and now to Doom Knights of Tzeentch. Oh man, I was really thinking how to value these guys. And they're tier 5. You can parry them to Lord of Change, Soul Grinder, Mutilate Vortex Beast. And they are not pulling the weight. They are never gonna equal the same amount of stuff. And again, it says they're anti-infantry, but there is nothing anti-infantry in their stats. It's just armor piercing and base weapon damage. They have Strider, Vanguard deployment, and cause fear. But when you send them against infantry, they might lose. Because it's only 24 entities. That's another thing. 24 entities, it's quite low. So they have more life in general. But I always compare them to Severed Claw, which, aspiring champions with spears. Severed Claw are monsters. And they are pulling the weight. Because one, they have anti-large, obviously, because they're, halberdiers. But they can last longer, much, much, much longer. Of course, they have more life. Granted, but there is less entities, and they can do way better, even versus infantry. That's the fun part. I'm not saying anti-large. Obviously, they're gonna shred anything large, but Severed Claw, aspiring champions, Regiment of Renown, will outdo Doom Knights twice. So, if Doom Knights are that bad, why would I recruit them if I can have Soul Grinder? They are not worth your money. But if you get them for free, then I guess the Regiment of Renown is fine. Regiment of Renown is fine. At least they have Searing Torrent, which is a spell. But outside of that, they're like, okay, I'm gonna recruit them and send them to death. Maybe that's my fault, but I don't believe in them whatsoever. And now to my favorite stinker, Burning Chariot of Tzeentch. And I made whole video about why this chariot is bad. And if you focus only about, exalted flamer sitting on it and how it does insane damage, yada yada yada. In my video, which I'm gonna put it somewhere, yeah, I'm gonna definitely put it here so you can check it. But there is so many things that the Burning Chariot of Tzeentch can do wrong. It's better to just get Chainringers. Chainringers outclass Burning Chariot of Tzeentch, and they are cheaper. They are just better. So, absolutely not worth it. Okay, next, Furies. I call them crap all day, every day, because they are unit send and die. You send them to fight and they die. You never pull them out. Their destination is to kill and be killed. Same goes for Screamers. And I gave a chance. I love Regiment of Renown Screamers work for me way better because they have better stats when it comes to combat plus the ability. Normal Screamers, yeah, they have anti-large stuff. If you manage to hit it something large, they will do some damage, but they are still really weak. Their melee defense is so low, and melee attack is also low. When you compare that to Furies, Furies can do better because they have higher melee attack, so they can pull out the damage. The barrier is nice here because it's like blocks a little bit. But still, Screamers, yeah, they have bonus anti-large, quite good. But usually they get picked out by other stuff. They are really vulnerable. And this is my critic. And if they fight something else than large, both Furies and Screamers died to Crossbowmen of Empire in melee. And it was 1-on-1. So I had that. I tested some of them on even when I streamed it back then. I did live and they lost in melee to Crossbowmen in melee. That gives you everything you want to know. They should do a little bit more. I might be biased, I might be evil here. You can tell me how wrong I am. In PvP, I know they are way better. I know, but this is not PvP. This is about campaign. And they're just not worth it. I rather get Warriors of Chaos. I'm Chaos Warriors all day. Pink Horror, Marauders, Centigores. These are gonna perform way, 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 way better. Centigores of Tzeentch are outclassed this. Same goes for pinks. It's just not worth to have it. unless you cannot recruit anything, then when you're in like need to have something, then I guess it's fine. You can try to fight something large. It's gonna do some damage, definitely. But expectation it's gonna pull its weight is foolish for me. I'm not saying for you, but for me it's just not gonna work. Chaos Spawn. Chaos Spawn are okay. They are not groundbreaking. Chaos Spawn typically has its purpose. They are unbreakable. Weapon strength is massive. They're really massive weapon strength, and they have way higher melee attack than Screamers. They're tier higher, obviously. They can sunder armor. They're unbreakable. So it's gonna take them time to do something. And because they're not demons, they don't crumble, stuff like that. Plus, they are your early siege attacker. Because if you go with armies like Pig Horrors or stuff, and I'm not saying for Legendary Lord, but just normal Lord, you need a siege attacker. And they are your safe bet to have it at the start. Later on you can get better, but they're okay. Next up, Flamer of Tzeentch. Very good. I'm a huge fan of any kind of Flamer unit, and I always value them high, because they do sick damage if you use them properly. I'm not gonna dwell too much. There is 12 entities with, flame that do warp fire. It's insane damage. It's just ridiculous damage. And better version of this is, of course, Changebringers. Changebringers are the same thing, but flying, which makes it amazing. You can do a lot. There is one common thing of all flamers: they're extremely squishy. So you have to be careful to use them. But every flamer unit, Iron Drakes, Warp Fire Throwers, they're all squishy. They're like glass cannon type of unit. But they are so powerful you can do insane stuff. And when it comes, when it comes to continuously monsters, next is Cockatrice, however you call it. It's a very good unit. I feel it's a very good unit. It does do good job. It has nice debuff that's called Petrify Gaze. That is progressive use that slows stuff down. It's very good versus like armor piercing stuff. They're not the best melee defenders when it comes to fighting, but they are very good attackers, and they fly, and they're your second good choice for siege attacker. As far as I remember, they are siege attacker because I remember recruiting them to have a siege attacker. So they're very good. They can do a lot, which I cannot say about our next unit. For some reason, Chaos War Shrine of Tzeentch is just not doing it. It's not clicking for me. I rather have a hero on it, and I will still not put hero on it because, let's say, Exalted Hero of Tzeentch on Flying Disc is insane with the charge animation. The animation is like an arrow that pierces through stuff. And it's small, fast. Here is nothing that clicks on me. Because it's a big, slow target. Okay, it has, aura that gives you leadership and spell mastery, power recharge, stuff like this. I use only one of these shrines, and it's Nurgle. I use the Nurgle one because it heals. Because it heals itself as well. This cannot heal itself. So usually I parry the War Shrine with something that it can, deal with the speed. It's not gonna run away too far, so it can reach the combat and start healing. But the healing is quite powerful. Well, spell mastery is great, but I would never trade fast, unit, reliable hero to put it on here. And especially, I'm not gonna invest into something that's gonna die from literally anything because they're gonna focus on it. Chaos War Shrines are magnet for AI bullets. AI focus them immediately because they are the weakest link in all your armies if you pick them. So I would say never recruit them. The Tzeentch one, at least. Exalted Flamers are... I cannot decide. I've been thinking about it. They're in between here. I would say very good, borderline amazing, because the beam, it's a single entity, but it is beefed up by a couple of them, and it does enormous amount of damage. And you can say, hey Snake, but it's same thing with Burning Chariot of Tzeentch. Yeah, it's exactly the same damage, but the Burning Chariot of Tzeentch has higher chance to miss because it's go from the air to a ground. It can miss in so many things. It can do so wrong. While this one, when you hit units on the ground, it gonna shoot that unit on the ground while burning everything in a way to do that unit. So it gonna do sick, really sick damage. I usually use a couple of Exalted, Changebringers, and I parry them together. So I have something mobile and I have something static. It deletes stuff. So I really love them. And like I said, I'm always going to value them high. Next up is obviously the Lord of Change. Lord of Change is amazing if you do technology tree first. When it's stripped down of all his spells, the bind spells that you don't pay Winds of Magic because that was stupid. Yeah, at the start you had to pay Winds of Magic for every spell that I had. That was dumb. But now they have bind spells that you use. It's sick. It's... If you have a couple of... I made an army composition of them. They were ripping everything. And the fun part was, I didn't even have a full stack. I had like half stack of them and they were ripping everything. Because they had a full spellbook of spells for 2 of each at least to use. So they are a big monster, single entity. Not the greatest in combat, but they can do the combat and not lose. Because their stats are not that terrible. Soul Grinder is absolutely doom stackable, amazing unit. It can do a lot. I love it. It has range attack. It's a good range. Still preferred Nurgle Soul Grinder, but this one is the second one best because it has the range attack that doesn't suck. So this is a really, really good unit. Massive monster. Animation is busted because it's charging. It just throws units flying. Yeah, it's hard to like control it to be in a proper space because it tends to run in charge. Even if you put it guard mode, the animation is so huge it goes far. And of course, the jewel crown of this is the Vortex Mutilative Beast. And the Mutilative Vortex Beast. It's the best unit in entire roster. Yes, it's the best unit in the entire roster for a couple of things. One, it has aura that increase melee attack everyone in range. It does Mortis effect spell around it. That's sick already. It's just, plus it has other abilities and it's fast, it's strong, And it's way, 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 way better if you give it to Changeling, if you confederate as Kairos Changeling, or if you play Warriors of Chaos, still it's gonna perform great. They're fast, strong, powerful. Ooh, yeah. In Warriors of Chaos, they're the even better MVP because you usually pair that with Nurgle Healer. So, wee. Yeah, these are my favorite unit. With Changebringers, definitely Shadow of Change gave a lot to Tzeentch, so they are really good in my eyes, the best. And that's it. That's my tier list for Tzeentch and faction. Let me know, what do you think? Again, this is subjective list, so it's not perfect, but it doesn't have to be perfect. I'm not perfect. But again, if you have something to tell me, no worries, I'm not gonna cry. But you don't have to be mean if you don't agree, okay? We can have civil conversation about. You can try convince me to other things that can be good, like Screamers. Because don't even try with Burning Chariot of Tzeentch. Don't even try. There is no saving until CA does it something with it. Nevertheless, please consider subscribing if you like what I do. You will help me a lot, and it doesn't cost you much. It actually doesn't cost you anything. So it's just it's just clicking one button. But I'm leaving it up to you. That would help me a lot again. And thank you if you survived that long. Tell me which one you want to do me next. I can consider that applying next tier list. I'm gonna do them from time to time. I don't want to spam them, but definitely they're fun to make. And that's it. I hope you like it. Thank you for watching. Have a great day. Take care. And bye bye.